Today we're going to be talking about how to measure a tree. So in the city of Burien, we measure the diameter of the tree, which you can see this diagram is a cross, and circumference is measured around. In order to get diameter of a tree, you typically measure the circumference of that, and then you divide that by pi, or 3.14. So the diameter equals the circumference divided by 3.14. So again, in the city of Burien, we use diameter at standard height, which is typically 4.5 feet off the ground. This picture of the blue tape is a logger's tape, which takes the circumference and divides by 3.14 for you automatically. But if you were measuring a tree at home, you could take a string, measure around the tree at 4.5 feet. Then you could use a tape measure to measure that circumference and divide it by 3.14 to get the diameter at standard height. There are a number of unique situations where the measurement is not taken at 4.5 feet. In this picture, you see the magenta line is at 4.5 feet. There's a swelling at 4.5 feet, so the standard height in this situation is actually at the narrowest point, which is represented by that white line and star. So you would take the circumference and calculate diameter at that white line. Similarly, if there is branching right at 4.5 feet, which again is represented by this magenta line, the diameter is measured at that white line. Slightly more complicated situation is when there are multiple trunks at 4.5 feet. So in this scenario, that magenta line again is at 4.5 feet, and those two smaller white lines are showing where you're measuring each stem. So you'll take the diameter of stem 1 and the diameter of stem 2. And for this, the equation is diameter at standard height equals the square root of stem 1 squared plus stem 2 squared. So if we assume in the situation that stem 1 is 6 inches, 6 times 6, and then stem 2 is 5 inches, plus 5 times 5. That would equal 36 plus 25. And then so we're looking for the square root of 61, which gives us a diameter at standard height of 7.8. Learn more at burienwa.gov/trees or email planning@burienwa.gov.